we're trying to do an exercise here. I mean, we can do it somewhat quickly because I know we're in limited time, but we wanted to do a socioeconomic type of exercise. So let's say that for certain type of demographics, certain type of classes in a society, we're talking about middle class and actually, no.
I would say upper class.
Upper middle class and upper class. So this is people that make over 150K a year in average in Canada and the US. So the exercise we're doing is for upper middle class and upper class. People make 150K or more per year. How would a family, and let's assume they have a couple of kids. Let's assume that they own their primary resident. Let's assume that they own a rental property as well. And they're somewhat frugal. But how would a family that we just described, how would they use whole life to preserve and grow their wealth? Like, what would you do day one?
I would start to set up minimum of 10% of all the income that goes through that house has to go into
forgive me, the caveat is don't give up any proprietary information. Like if you don't need to, just go over on a high level, what would you do? It's because
the first thing is you have to develop a cash flow management plan. And everybody just thinks of cash flow as what investments throw off. But a cash flow management plan actually sets up the household more efficiently. Because if you make a couple of tweaks, it's going to propel just what they're doing, their savings already. So The Richest Man in Babylon, the book, teaches us 10% of everything that you earn. And then I would start there. I would make sure that both of the parents have these policies, put 10% in there, try to get to 25% eventually, because everything else in the household would now run through there. So how would they finance, how would they finance automobiles? How would they finance college for their kids? How would they finance maybe a second home? If you have a system of cash flow, the first thing is to capture all the value that's coming in.
MC, is it 10% of their income for how many years?
Gross income. I mean, our most successful clients, and I say this over and over, you don't have to be a Rockefeller to do what the Rockefellers do. So what do? I mean, if you look at our ultra affluent clients, they're saving 50% or more of their income. Okay, every single year. No, I'm not saying start
into the whole life insurance policy.
Yeah, I would not start at the 50. I would say let's start at 10 and let's start building. Because once you have a plan for the money and you start to deploying that very efficiently, and let's just say you buy even a second property for an Airbnb, let's just start there, or invest in other real estate. Now you're generating income streams. So where does that, and you're reducing taxes. So where does that go? It goes back into your system. So it's this snowball that you're building now, your saving snowball. And of course, the more savings that are coming in this captured vehicle, the more you have to deploy to generate more income streams and to reduce more taxes. So the biggest issue that family would have is, number one, cash flow, not having a cash flow map, a plan for their personal economy, number one. Just think of most people. Money comes into the bank account. What do you do with it? You max out retirement plans, you pay the bills, and if there's anything left, I mean, it's just sitting there, and you're going to spend it at some stage because it's just sitting there, right? If you have efficiency and you have a plan, before you know it, you have a sweep account that you just sweep things into. That starts to build up. You get that second property that brings tax benefits. It's now a business that you own. Most people are like, well, I don't want to start a business. It's a pretty easy business to start these days. If you do an Airbnb and you get to enjoy it when other people don't rent it, you get the tax benefits. And of course, when you reduce your taxes, there's no more money at the end of the year. That kind of snowballs that. So that's what I would focus on: efficiency and reducing taxes with adding that second part. And I think the other thing that I would also then look at is other cash flow leaks. There are so much money that people unknowingly are losing every single year through inefficient things. And it could be as simple as raising deductibles on insurance. We all have automobile insurance, disability. I mean, there's a whole just line of insurances that we have. For the most part, if you actually do a proper audit, you're covered twice on some of those policies. I guarantee you'll find it, or your deductibles are too low. If you think about the role of insurance, and a property and casualty insurance is to be there in case of a catastrophic event. A car that is totaled, yeah, you need insurance for that. A fender bender, If you have a proper system, you probably have enough capital to take care of it, and you'll probably get a discount for it because it's not running through insurance. So there's little tweaks like that I would advise a family like that, because they can do the exact same thing that the Rockefeller. This is what they do in family offices, by the way. They have a cash flow map, a plan. They have a vehicle, which is the family bank, this whole insurance vehicle. And then all of the other things in family offices, it's all about efficiencies. I'll share one more thing. I was at a family office once, and I know advisors. I've become pretty good friends with them. And I was sitting in one day on a strategy session. They invited me to sit down with them. You know what I was blown away about? Of the amount of time spent on efficiency. Because I'm like a kid in a candy store. All right, show me the goods, the secrets of the ultra wealthy, because these families have $100 million and more. And their biggest thing was taxes, tax efficiency, all the cash flow leaks. And I said to my buddy that invited me, I said, this is crazy. Like, there's such an emphasis on this. And he's like, MC, think about it this way. If we save them 20% on taxes or just cash flow efficiency this year, there's no return out there in the marketplace that's going to beat that for them compounded over the next 20, 30, or 40 years.
Old adage is saving money is making money.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's very unsexy, and it's not great cocktail party conversation.
Yes.
But the amount of things that you can accomplish financially by tweaking inefficiencies, it makes a massive difference.